CRiiiME is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
With his awesome, weird co-host, Phoebe. So no one told you crime was gonna be this way. Cha-cha-cha-cha! Thanks for clapping there.
Well, look, I've been working out on my claps for a long time.
You've had the clap.
I'm clean, I'm clear, I'm under control. I got the Neutrogena of dicks now, bro.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
You're like the Chandler of this show.
How dare you not play the music?
CRiiiME
Is the show that starts now.
now. Like right now?
Oh, yeah, do your line.
Oh, okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything
them
to me.
him.
Don't you dare.
CRiiiMepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good. Hey, criminals. It's so great for you to be here with us, me, and my good friend John Shefsky.
Shalom!
Hi. Was your Passover good? This might be coming out way after Passover, but look.
Was your Easter good too? What about
mean,
our Christians?
Okay, good for your Easter, but look, if we're comparing holidays, Passover, you get to drink wine, you eat brisket if you got a good family.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, like, look, I know Easter's cool and all, but you guys should do some Passover, bro.
Dude, chocolate eggs on matzah, dude. Combine it. And then Ramadan too. Come on, shawarma, chocolate eggs.
Look,
Matzah,
and-
gefilte fish.
Some of you guys, so for our Easter people, some of you went out and did an Easter egg hunt and you couldn't find Easter eggs. And it would have helped you out a lot if you'd had
C3 Risk and Insurance Services. You got to
covered-
get Easter insurance.
Easter insurance, bro, because what if you don't find an egg? You need to have insurance that covers you.
That's right.
So that you can get chocolate at the end.
Joe Earl's going to give you that.
Joe Earl at C3 Risk and Insurance Services, he will probably not provide you that, but he'll provide you all the rest of the insurance you need. Car insurance, home insurance, dick insurance. all
Weird
that kind of-
holiday insurance.
Seriously,
you got to
bro.
have that. Get a policy from him. You get $25 to Amazon. Look, you could buy Easter stuff for next year, or actually matzah. You
Go
could buy
to
Passover.
c3insurance.com.
Yeah, tell him Shefsky sent you.
Tell him Shefsky
He
sent
loves
you.
me.
And also, we have a brand new sponsor.
Oh,
Our-
H32B marijuana dispensary software. All right, this is just like C3 Risk is one of your friends' companies. This is one of my friends' companies,
shit.
dude. Right? We're just like, who are our sponsors? People we know that want to be part of this.
People we know.
That's right. And this is a great company. This guy and this company, they make Matt makes software for marijuana dispensary. So if you've got a dispensary of some sort or a business like that,
Or if you're trying to rob dispensaries and you need to have a map of where they are.
or if you just want to be an honest, decent businessman, Slaton, and you want to make money efficiently,
Or if you're the feds, you're trying to shut down dispensaries because you know that the
suck our
devil's
dicks.
smoke is going to make women listen to jazz music. Like, no way, bro.
suck our dick, feds.
So go ahead and check out H32B.
Oh, yeah.
and he has some great software.
He's gonna make it so you can be efficient with your clients, make money, and get that weed out there, get that cash in here.
Hell yeah, bro. And if you think that neither of those two are your cup of tea, which they should be,
That's a really weird way to end the ad.
you know
dude.
what? Then we'll not do that. I'll cut that whole part out.
All right, try another one.
And if you don't get enough of crime here on this show, because
man.
you're not on the West Coast, you didn't come to the live show where I
Oh.
wore a dope ass purple suit.
You missed his disgustingly
It was
ugly
so
suit.
hot.
It was ugly.
You might get another chance to see us at CrimeCon,
CrimeCon!
Nashville, May 4th to 6th.
Nashville,
Myself and John
Tennessee.
Shefsky will be sharing a hotel room. It's gonna be hot. But
There's
more
gonna
importantly,
be heterosexual guys having gay sex just to test it out.
just going chaw for chaw, bro,
Chaw
like two bros
for
do.
chaw. Yeah, we're not gonna have intercourse. We're just
Real
gonna jack
friends
off.
go chaw for chaw. That's
That's
an
right.
important thing that you know about us.
He's hot. He's a hot dude. He's
It's
a
going to
Viking.
be a lot of fun. CrimeCon, it's going to have all your favorite true crime podcasts, a bunch of crazy headliners, people talking about weird crime stuff that you might be into, but most importantly, the two of us
We're gonna be
partying
there.
in Nashville, bro. So go to crimecon.com, use the code CRIME with 3 I's, CRiiIME, get 10% off your badge for CrimeCon.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys. I'm so excited. Barbecue.
Enough about all that shit. More importantly, right now, we have a fantastic guest.
Oh, yeah.
He's a handsome man.
He
He's
is.
a funny man.
He's threatening looking. He's very beautiful.
He's exceptionally well dressed. Put your virtual hands together for our good pal, Feraz Ozel.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't know what is happening. I'm trying to understand as
No
it's
one
going
knows.
along.
It's a
Yeah.
podcast for us. You're a pro.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
these
that
are
what this
microphones.
is?
This is a podcast.
I thought this was like a live stand-up show with microphones in front of it, and
For just
and
three of us?
For just Carlos looking through the window.
Just Carlos to that
just the
window.
sound
Check us
dude.
out.
It is.
It's one of those. It's kind of like that. What's that called? Speak No More. One of those plays that you go into the house and the play happens in New York.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I thought it was like one of those, but for stand-up. But
Yeah.
like, it's just for him.
This is an escape room. It's a podcast theme escape room.
Oh,
Try
This
it
is
out.
actually a men in their 30s beauty contest.
Okay.
And we're trying to see who Carlos wants to bang the hardest.
Okay.
And my guess is me because I feel like I'm his type. So,
Right. Now, bang the hardest mean he wants to bang the most, or he just wants to bang you the hardest?
That's a really this is a good question. Okay.
Aggressive.
All right,
Really
Mensa.
good
This guy's
question.
too smart for us.
Man, did you go to college or something?
Dude, I got like 4 IQs, dude.
Joseph Leslie Theodore Taylor
Let's call him Leslie Theo.
was born on June 29th, 1888 in Brighton, Victoria, Australia.
Whoa, Australia.
We're going down under, bruh.
Hi, mate. This guy's a criminal.
While he preferred to go by Leslie, most people called him by his nickname, Squizzy,
Hi, Squizzy.
given on account of a droopy eyelid, which made it appear as though his left eye was always squinting.
Oh.
I'm the Forrest Whitaker of Australia.
Yeah, he's the ghost dog of Down Under. I get it. By the way, best Forrest Whitaker movie, Ghost Dog.
Didgeridoo, don't make fun of my eye.
Squint. I just got up to that.
Yeah.
It took me a second to catch up to that.
Yeah.
Oh, your eye is super weird.
Dude, we just the idea of these characters fighting over it's ridiculous. That's how they make fun of people in Australia.
Squizzy was the second of 5 children born to Benjamin Taylor, a coachmaker, and his wife, Rosina.
It's the 1880s, so of course people are still riding in coaches.
Coachmaking?
I thought it was like a coach maker, like this guy just builds the people that make the team the Friday Night
Oh,
Lights
that's right.
team.
He's
You know
like
what
a
I mean?
coach for coaches.
He's a coach for coaches.
That's
Like,
right.
I've been making coaches since 1374.
Oi, mate, you want to see my Bill Belichick?
That's, you know what? This halftime, I'm just going to be talking to the coach, and then he's going to come back and talk to you. It's real meta.
I came up with this new one. His last name is really Polish. I'm just going to go with Coach K.
Coach K,
Simplify. I'm not having an education.
no problem with that. You don't need one. This is Australia. There's no such thing as school. There's only didgeridoos and barbecues.
Coachmaking was already a tough business, barely enough to support a family of 7. But things got worse during the Australian Depression of the early 1890s.
Oh, that's a horrible time, mate.
By 1893, Benjamin Taylor couldn't pay his debts, so he packed up his family and moved to the slums of Richmond, a suburb of inner Melbourne.
I don't believe there's slums in Australia. I think that's a lie.
I feel like it's mostly slums. It's like the
Are you
Opera House.
serious?
It's the Opera House and just slums. And I think that every Aussie listener to our show will back me up on that one.
I give you permission to beat up Slaton if we do an Australian show anytime soon.
You know, beat up is an Aussie slang for get him really drunk and have a great time. So thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I wish you just known Australian slang.
Is it really? No, it's not.
I'm going to say it is
Oh,
right now.
mate, it got so beat up
Feraz
last
is going
night.
on tour in Australia, so he probably already knows that.
Yep. Already researched it.
It's a fact.
That's what happens. And beat up is get him drunk and have a good time.
Yeah.
And they call those days weekdays.
Guys, when Feraz is in Australia, just make sure to beat him up at every one of his dates. He's really gonna have a good time out there.
Thank you.
Please don't beat up Feraz for what Rich does. Thank you.
Richmond wasn't always garbage.
Rocco's Modern Life.
It was first habited by wealthy settlers enchanted by the views on the hill at its center. But by the 1860s, industrial factory owners discovered that the river flats below were perfect for easy waste removal.
Oh, let's just exploit that land over there. Everyone loves that. Let's piss our little
Yeah.
toxic shit everywhere.
Fuck Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah, that's right. We don't have one of them over here.
I'm Cockney now.
You did
You know what?
I'm the first Cockney person in Australia, see?
I feel like most of the Aussies originally were
We're
Cockney.
Cockneyed, right? Yeah.
Probably.
I'm the first Aussie, see?
Wait.
Fuck Aaron Brockovich. Come around, waste my fucking time. Piss away my fucking money.
If we go back and we do the history, we can see Australia was originally a prison colony, right?
Yes.
Of mostly English prisoners, right?
Right.
Who were the criminals in the UK?
Right.
Yes.
The Cockney bastards.
Right.
Right.
So you guys were correct. Ding,
Now, if
ding,
we go
ding,
back
ding,
even
ding, ding.
further, the original Aussies who came from England before that came from the Fertile Crescent in Africa and probably spoke like some sort of Cyrillic language. So we can go back. Really, Aussies are Semitic.
Did you somehow turn this into black people from Africa are criminals? I've got to say, mate,
That's not where I
That's
was
quite
going,
a
but I do
stretch.
like the cut of your jib, sir.
you're going to pull a muscle with that stretch.
While the hills held mansions, the ground below quickly filled with tiny cottages and cheap single-story row houses.
They were about to be toxicated.
The depression of the 1890s brought more of the poor to the city, and eventually the wealthy people on the hill fled for another suburb.
Ah, I see too many poor people. This view sucks.
Ugh. It smells like people. One of the worst smells.
Is that really something people complain about? The smell of people?
Dude, honestly, have you smelled people before, bro?
I love it.
Especially poor people.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That's right. If you're poor and you're listening, take
You ever
a
walk
bath.
into like a bathroom in the gas station and like a homeless man just finished like bathing?
homeless man?
A homeless man just finished bathing.
That was like
or
almost
doing whatever he did in
That's
there.
a really
Is he in the
pretentious way.
guild?
That's such a
I
pretentious
mean-
way to say a homeless man. A homeless man.
There's like 3 homeless men outside. One of them just finished scrubbing I don't know what. It literally smelled worse than a pile
Oh,
of dog
that's
shit.
so gross.
I gave him money. I'm not an asshole, but
Yeah.
it's still, I have my opinions about the smell.
Well, you can have those opinions.
I'm allowed to have those opinions.
Well, in the homelessman union, that's actually kind of one of the rules. They're allowed to smell that way.
Just don't tweet it or you'll get shut down.
I don't want to get.
The mansions that the rich people left behind quickly became boarding houses. Then, in 1901, Benjamin died. So Squizzy, now 13 years old,
He was fatherless.
took a job as a horse trainer at the inner city pony circuit. Yeah!
That sounds really. I love the animation of this guy right here. I don't want to do another trick.
You'll do what I'll say, boy.
Okay.
Within a couple of years,
You
he
see how
was a-
fast you broke the horse? He's like, all right.
well, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, once you put it that way, that's a horse of a different color. Oh, why didn't you say so? It's the horse from Wizard of Oz. I'm the only horse people think of when they make up a horse out of thin air.
I like the idea of an Australian horse whisperer because they fucking never whisper.
Yeah.
Oi, why don't you calm down there, horse?
Oh, speak up. I can't hear you.
Hey,
Yeah.
calm down there, mate.
You listen here there, horse. We're going to have a couple of sips of whiskey and then fuck each other's sisters.
I mean, look, if you're offering me a good time, I'm not going to turn it down.
Who do you think's more stoked? The horse that gets to fuck a human or the guy that gets to fuck a horse?
Ooh, wow.
I'm going to say the horse that gets to fuck a human.
That's a good would you rather.
If you're an animal and you get to fuck a human, like you're the one getting like hooked up. You
You're
know
like
what I mean?
the only one that did it ever.
You're the one out of your league.
Yeah.
If you're a human that fucks an animal, everyone's just like, yeah, that's pretty gross. But if you're a horse and you get to fuck a woman, all the other horses are like, damn, did you see him? Timmy just fucked that chick.
Bro.
Brianna, the American white woman, he fucked her. That'd be a great porn, right? Brianna, the American white woman.
He fucked her? I want that last part to be part
He
of the
fucked
title.
her.
Within a couple of years, Squizzy was apprenticed to a jockey who noticed his talent. And by talent, I mean Squizzy was very, very small.
Oh, so he knew he could be a jockey too?
He stood.
You're about 3'7", and I'm about 3'6". So if you shorten down a little bit, you might be able to ride one of these puppies.
You're a giant.
Is
That's
that
right.
basically 90% of the talent of being a jockey is like, you're small.
That's pretty much it.
Talent is indescribable.
Number one skill.
Small.
Totally, it is.
That's it.
It's a talent. If talent is something you're born with, you can't just make talent, right? So
true.
You just look at someone's resume, like, okay, now I see here that you've never ridden a horse. I mean, that's not great, but oh look, you're 4'2".
Oh, there are several photos of you by objects establishing your relative size. Here's you by 9 paper towels.
Here you are next to an Amazon ordering box that's just used for a small box of paper towels. It
To
must
try
be-
to get the job, you take all your photos with like perspective, so that you're in the background, they're in the foreground.
He's as big as the Eiffel Tower. Look at him. He's too big for a horse. Like no, it's the focal points, right? It's the what do they call that?
Reference. I don't know.
Not reference. It's
I don't
like
know things, bro.
It's the depth of field, mate. Aye.
Squizzy
Look at him next to
stood-
that kangaroo.
Squizzy stood just less than 5'2" and weighed 135 pounds.
That's fat for that size.
Somehow, being a tiny man on a horse surrounded by gambling criminals failed to keep him out of trouble. In May of 1905,
That was sarcasm, right?
no, that was very honest.
Oh, okay.
I'm an earnest person, and I never use sarcasm.
All right, go on with your story.
In May of 1905, he was arrested for insulting behavior.
That's something you could get arrested for?
Oh, if you think those are dumb charges, just buckle up, folks.
Okay.
Because there's some
Fucking social justice warriors.
Yeah, right?
Fucking virtue
You're missing the
signaling.
point. Low-hanging fruit is what you're going for. We got real problems we need to solve, mate.
Those charges were dismissed, but he soon had his first conviction for theft of a front gray Melton cloth overcoat.
What? Wait. What just happened?
A nice coat. He stole a coat.
Okay, you said it in the really long form.
Yeah, well, it was in
what
the source material. I found it, and that's what it said he stole. So
Great.
I want to paint a picture for you. So he didn't just steal a coat. He stole a fly front gray Melton cloth overcoat.
Oh, go on, mate. I'm going to get one of those at Macy's next week.
He served 21 days in jail.
Which is a really long time in Australia. 21 days jail in Australia is like 47 days jail in California.
With the conversion rate, yeah.
It really is.
Before long, I did like 4 accents in that one sentence.
You did. You're really horrible. I don't
It's
know.
like the conversion rate. Atlanta.
Whoa, that was great. You went from Australian to Indian.
I'm both Australian and a little bit Irish if you really want to know, but every now and then I don't know where I'm coming or going. You know?
And then click your tongue too. And then, I'm also from Africa.
Before long, it became clear that jockeying wouldn't provide the riches he desired. Amongst other issues, being 135 pounds put him around 10 pounds over the desired weight.
I told you it was fat for a fucking 5'3" guy.
For a jockey, too.
For a dude, that's fat. Or a professional cyclist. You can't be 5'3" and be 130 fat pounds.
Rather than diet, he decided it was much more lucrative to become a pickpocket. This was the beginning of a string of petty crimes, including theft, assault, inciting to resist arrest, offensive language, throwing missiles, and vagrancy.
Okay, I like offensive
All of
language.
a twist. The Australian, the Outback version.
All of a twist down under.
Twist down under. It's like all of a twist, but we drink a lot more and get our dicks wet.
That's right. The weather's better.
Bottle o.
I guarantee the weather's better.
That's the one thing I know to say that Australians like to say. Bottle o. Do you know what
I don't even know what that means.
No.
It's like a liquor store.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
The bottle o. Oh shit. We go down to the bottle o. So I'm just gonna keep saying that every now and then.
Bottle O. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying
No,
it
it's like
too.
this. It's like this. Bottle o.
Bottle O.
Bottle o.
Bottle O.
Bottle o.
Bottle O, Clarice.
Let's go get beat up at the bottle-o.
That's what you would do. You,
You sounded
fucking
like
dork.
a baseball announcer from the 50s.
Dude, I can. Here's the worst part about me. I can do voices off this show. As soon as there's a mic in front of me, it falls apart ridiculously. I do not know.
I agree with everything you just said,
pressure,
except for that's the worst part about
the
you.
pressure.
Just joking, my lady. Give me that sweet hand of yours.
little hand touch, little rub there.
Thank you.
Squizzy joined up with the Bork Street Rats,
Oh, all the names are funny. Squizzy Bork at the Dirk Street.
a larrikin push,
Yeah, see?
which is a quaint Aussie term for a street gang of youngsters.
Ooh. There's a lyric and push over there, and they're fucking everything up. They're rowdy.
In 1908, he was caught pickpocketing a watch and chain and sent to prison for 2 years.
Or did he get it from a
2
pocket?
years
Yeah.
for a watch?
Yeah, you ever heard of them going a little harsh on poor people for crimes?
I mean, it was a nice
That
watch.
happens?
It had a
Oh,
chain
yeah.
and everything.
I thought black people were just making that up.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's real.
It's real. It's not even just for black people. It's just for poor people. Yeah.
poor
Poor
people.
people suffer sometimes.
Yeah,
You get in
that's why
trouble.
it's great to be wealthy. That's why you should strive to have money
Yeah.
so that you can get out so laws don't apply to you
You
as
mean to
much.
tell me that rich people throughout generations have been manipulating the system to incriminate
Oh yeah,
people?
and they've also
No, no.
they've gotten away with similar
No,
things.
no. Let's be clear. To protect virtue.
Okay, good.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, to keep society on the straight and narrow.
Okay.
You make a real good asshole lawyer, Slaton, for the bad people. Mm-hmm. You gotta make that cash.
But being a forward thinker, Squizzy served his time under the alias Michael McGee.
Michael Niggy.
After his release, he went right back to picking pockets. Within a year, he was pinched again, this time for the name David Donahue. So one part of his game plan is whenever he gets arrested, he gives a fake name.
Oh, okay.
And so he doesn't actually have a criminal record under his actual
He doesn't
name.
have the 3 strikes you're out problem.
Because they don't have like Google, they can't just like they don't have any system.
In the early 1900s.
Yeah,
No, Google's just the name of an Aboriginal man.
Yeah.
Who they ask, and he's like, I don't have the answer to any of these questions.
My name's
Because you guys
Squazzy
don't let me
McGuazzy.
access anything because you guys have been oppressing all of my people.
And I'm having trouble using my fingers because you continue to beat me due to general racism.
No, I mean, look, getting beat up is a really great thing in Australia. We already covered that one.
Okay.
For you, you'd be like, oh, keep punching me, I'll come harder.
That's mostly how I go.
Well, you taste blood, you get odd.
Sometimes in the midst of all of this, Squizzy found the time to meet a girl.
Ooh, Squizzy met a girl, Squizzy met a girl, hey.
Dolly Gray was in her late 20s when she met Squizzy, who was still just shy of 20 years old.
A hot late 20s Australian chick, I'm listening.
They first appeared together in the public record in 1907 when they showed up in court on charges of, quote, having insufficient means, which was one of the many petty counts the officers would bring against small-time criminals.
Like they couldn't pay for they went to a movie
The charge
and they
was
didn't pay the
not
ticket?
having enough money. That was the charge.
Oh, you can get in trouble for that?
For like not having a job and properly earning and stuff like that. Oh yeah, first of all,
That
if
was
you
in the
don't- if you-
books?
If you don't have a job, you really should be in jail. That's the first thing, and I think that that we stand by that in this country. It's one of the most important laws we've passed. So honestly, right now, for those of you at home without a job, buckle up, bro. It's time to get. We're gonna lock you down.
Slaton, they're not going to pass that law. Stop
Why
scaring
not?
people.
Why
You don't
not?
want that law to get passed.
I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. We should put more. Most people should be in jail. That's my stance, and I think that's
we
fair.
do have the least amount of people in jail
Yeah,
out of
man.
every country
We
in
should
the world.
step it up.
Isn't that true?
Wait, don't we have the most?
We're supposed to be capped. We're
and
supposed
there's
to be-
still no parking spaces, and there's a ton of traffic.
We're
I'm like,
supposed
what
to
do we
be
gotta do?
fast.
Lock everyone up?
I mean, yeah. What do I have to do to not have to spend $25 on parking every
I'm
time
just
I
trying
go
to
out
lower
in
rent, bro.
Hollywood?
You know?
I'm just trying to get rent lower and shorten my commute. That's all, man.
You're a good Christian boy. Go on with your story.
I'm the best Christian Jew on the planet,
You're
bro.
doing the Lord's work, you piece of shit.
A similar charge often levied against the pair was being, quote, a suspected person found to be loitering in a public place in order to commit a felony.
What does that mean? Like people
Means you were there.
Wow. So there's really no due process there. They're just like, I think you're probably bad, so you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Wow.
While the charge on its own is bullshit.
It's like
applying it to
everyone's
this
black in
couple was
Australia. Am I right?
not. I mean, that's actually the motto of the country.
Little social commentary.
Yeah, that's actually in their national anthem.
Okay.
Everyone's black in Australia.
It's not about your skin color. You're under arrest.
Yeah, that's the whole national anthem.
That's right.
We just sing that over and over. That's why they don't play the lyrics of national anthems at the Olympics, by the way, is because some of those lyrics
Oh, they're pretty racy.
a little dicey here.
We turned all our body cams off.
By 1913, the pair had their routine down cold.
Him and his chick, they're the Bonnie and Clyde of Australia.
And
They're
they're-
the Dolly and Squizzy of Dolly and Squizzy.
Oh, the Dolly and Squizzy. That sounds like like a code for sex too. Like, we had a great time. We went back to her place for a little Dolly and Squizzy. If you know what I mean? Doesn't it?
I prefer the dolly, but
What's the Australian version of like busting up? Like, in England, it's a spunk. Like, oh,
I
she's
think
spunked.
it's I think it's a Squizzy.
It's a Squizzy.
Yeah.
it's catch a quokka.
That sounds hot. That sounds very feminine.
I'm going to Squizzy.
Oh, by the way, for your trip when you go to Australia, you're going to Perth, or you're going to be on that side. Don't
Yeah.
touch the quokkas.
What the quokkas?
They're like little. Okay, you know those things from Star Wars, the last movie, like the little
Ewoks.
Not the Ewoks, but
No, the little birdie things on the
birdie
2 feet?
things that were in the last last
Oh,
movie.
right.
So quokkas are somewhere between Ewoks and those things. They're super cute, but apparently,
They can bite you.
no. I mean, they might bite you, but apparently they have like a bunch of STDs,
What the fuck?
and so like, they'll let you like hold them and cuddle them and stuff like that.
But you will get herpes, mate.
But you'll get like herpes or a bunch of weird STDs. That
I
they
was
just
joking.
carry.
I was
No.
joking.
Yeah.
How many of these little bird things were Australian people fucking to the point where
Yeah, what's
they've
going on here?
adapted?
Look, it's a big country. Sometimes you get lost and you can't find a person because half of it is unsettled. And what do you do?
I've been camping for 2 years.
And I
man.
had sex with a bunch of these
Quokkas.
puffy quokkas.
Hey, at some point you ask yourself, what am I willing to do to Squizzy?
Yeah, so basically, don't bang a quokka. That's my most important advice. For
I mean,
you.
that's a general life principle for all, I think. Is,
Get beat
don't
up,
bang
don't bang a quokka.
Okay, got it.
There we go, bro.
It's going to be my merch.
Dolly and Squizzy had their own version of the honey trap. Dolly would lure well-off married men to a private room with the promise of sex.
Squizzy.
Yeah. Follow me if you'd like to have a little squizzy, aye?
Once the men were naked, Squizzy would burst in pretending to be the angry husband.
What the fuck is going on in here? You are my wife?
The men would offer up their valuables in order to avoid a beating.
Please
just take my money. I don't want no problem.
This kid, Pepe Le Pew, or what? Not Pepe Le Pew. What's his name? Fucking, I don't know. A guy,
I just want to have sex with your wife. I don't want no problem.
a guy named Raphael.
Please, take all your money.
All right, let me get that ring off your head.
Can you just not give me 2 seconds to finish coming before you take my? Just give me a minute to stop coming.
He's like, he busted while the guy's got his dick like fully, just like a marble dick, just like ready to blow, and he's like, "What's going on in here?"
Oh, it's so very. I'm very torn.
Let me get that Rolex. Yeah. Squirt, squirt.
In January of 1913, 2 armed men wearing white handkerchiefs across their faces entered the home of Arthur Trotter,
Happy New Year, Arthur.
a traveling salesman. At some point, Arthur tried to disarm one of the burglars, but his punch merely pushed the man back far enough to bring about his gun and fire point blank into his head.
That's my weakness.
Wait, so,
My only weakness.
He found it! Darn!
you know a bullet to the brain's dangerous for any of us?
Arthur died.
Yeah, I would have figured that.
The smaller.
I didn't know I was going to die that day. Had a lot more knives to sell.
I had no idea he would know that getting shot in the head was my Achilles heel.
That's not a knife for sale. This is a knife for sale.
That's the Australian Cutco.
Yeah, Cutco. That's their motto.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. It's got the double D edge, good for cutting. Watch me cut a penny in half with these scissors.
But I don't never need to cut a penny in half. What else can it do? Watch me cut this hammer. I don't care if it cuts hammers. I could go right through it.
Well, we also have cookware.
Okay.
Nobody cooks in Australia. They've got too many Chick-fil-A's.
I'm too busy fucking those birdie walks.
That's right. You don't eat chicken, you fuck it. Steve Irwin's like, look at this one. Oh, crikey, he's got such a loose little bung. He's asking for it. Look at this. I'm going to lube him up. And he's going to look this way, and I'm just going to jib it in there until we both come at the same time. You ever come with an animal at the same time and look in each other's eyes? It's wonderful. It's called love making. You don't fuck birds. You make love to them.
The smaller.
Kangaroos, too. Go on with your story. Sorry about that, mate.
The smaller.
Put another shrimp on my Bobby. My Bobby being my dick.
You know they don't call them shrimp.
Can you imagine wrapping a shrimp around your
They
cock?
don't call them shrimp in that country.
They don't? What do they call? What do they call them?
Prawns.
Little prawn.
Yeah.
Put a prawn on my cock.
Yeah, that's actually what they say. They don't. When they say. So here's some more interesting notes.
District 9 was a porno. You know,
That's-
made me think of these big shrimps.
Look, if we're talking, prep Ozel, prep Feraz Ozel for his trip to Australia. So we've got beat up means they get you drunk, have a good time.
Watch Mad Max.
Okay.
Don't fuck the quokkas.
Don't fuck the quokkas.
And yeah, and what was
Watch
the
Mad Max. Prepare to just like battle for your life.
Yeah, definitely have
Mad
that.
Max.
Make sure you wear leather. What was the
Okay.
last thing you were just saying? I totally.
Prawns.
The prawns. Yeah. Okay. So
Don't order shrimp. It's a whole other thing in Australia.
Don't order shrimp.
If you order shrimp there, a guy comes out from the back of the kitchen. He grabs you by the neck. He smacks you in front of everybody. It's really weird. Don't do
and
it.
so they don't say shrimp on the Barbie, but if you say
Somebody order shrimp.
if you put a prawn on the Barbie, that means get a blowjob.
Is it really?
Yeah, it definitely does. I'm not lying at all. That's 100% what it means. So make sure you're taking notes for these.
Okay.
Prepare for that tour.
Got it. Let me just write it.
Guys, you can see Feraz Ozel all across the nation of Australia. He'll be in Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Melbourne.
Adelaide, Melbourne.
And then he'll be in
We'll
one
be
of
in,
those small little
Melbourne.
puffy birds with the AIDS.
Yeah, he'll be in a quokka.
I'll be in a
He's
quokka.
gonna ignore my advice entirely.
If you come back from
'Cause he
your
plays
tour,
risks,
if you come
bro.
back from your tour and you're like, guys, I got this new bit. I have to travel with a bird now, but I just fucked this bird on stage. I get tips for it, and then I shoot ping pongs out of my. Okay.
I'll give you guys 5%
As Arthur died from a
of the
bullet,
bird AIDS.
I was just gonna say, no money necessary. Just let me have a go with the bird.
the smaller of the two men, as Arthur died, ran over to the bed, lifted up the mattress, and grabbed a bag containing 200 pounds, the value being around $24,000 today.
And the guy had to die for them to get an amount of money to get a fucking Nissan Altima. Fuck this world.
24,000?
$24,000 today is sort of the equivalent.
Not an impressive amount of money to kill someone, I might say, right?
Actually, that's above the going rate for like a murder for hire in the States.
What are you, a fan of the new Bill Hader show about hitmen stuff? You know, the money that it costs to get
No,
someone killed?
I've been producing this podcast for over a year now, and
no.
I've learned some things about murder for hire.
It scares me.
We haven't done many for this show yet, but we're gonna be doing some murder for hire.
It really makes me want to stay in line as your friend.
Mrs. Trotter could only describe the attackers by build and height. But it wasn't long before Harold Bush Thompson, one of Squizzy's pals,
Living out there in the wild with the
Harry Bush. His name is Harry Bush Thompson.
Yes.
I know.
The hairy Australian bush. That's a hot one, right? A lot of honey bushes, real blondies with the puffiness. Ooh, sounds
Bush
great.
was arrested for murder. He was tried and found not guilty. There was never enough direct evidence to charge Squizzy with the crime. But the cops were fairly sure he was a suspect Mr. Trotter described as maybe 5'4" with the voice of a young hoodlum. There was also the question of how the burglars knew their way around the home.
So the cops know of him as like he's the short little dude that's one of the criminals. Like you don't forget that. If you're a cop, you're like, oh, it's probably fucking Squizzy.
Well, there was also the big question of how they knew their way around the house and that they knew that Arthur kept his money bag under the mattress.
Oh yeah.
Something one might only know if someone had been in the bedroom before.
Yeah, you narrowed it down. You narrowed it motherfucking down by people that, then the cops know how to find out who you are.
A year later,
Gotta make it look like you don't know where the money's at, you fool.
A year later, Squizzy and Bush were arrested at the Flemington Racecourse, charged with intent to commit a felony, and given 9 months hard labor.
Not for that crime, a different crime.
Yep.
Okay.
So a lot of what happened at this time period was you couldn't prove a certain crime, so you would hit them with like little ticky-tack stuff. So be like, well, we can't prove that you murdered somebody, so we're going to get you with hanging out too much. And then now you're in jail for 6 months.
I mean, in a way, it's great when it's getting used like right now to get one of these assholes off the streets. But also, I mean, you need a Bill of Rights, Australia. I don't know if they have one yet, but get your shit together.
While Squizzy was inside, Dolly, who he now introduced as his wife, ran a brothel out of her home on Little Lonsdale Street in Melbourne.
Hell yeah.
In December 2014,
Put the red light on, dear. I'm getting hard.
Dolly was admitted to the hospital with a gunshot to the head.
Maybe it's not the best business to get into, though.
My only weakness.
The cause was never determined.
Everyone's weaknesses.
Guy, if there's one thing we know about Australians is like they're not good at getting shot at the head. Like that's the one place to get.
It's a common knowledge weakness point.
And also, everybody else is really good at shooting people in the head.
Yeah,
They
like-
don't miss.
Yeah, they're very accurate, huh?
Oh, yeah, straight for the head.
The cause was never determined.
I thought they were talking about being actors when they said headshots in Australia, but you know.
Her brothel manager and the gang all told cops it was a self-inflicted gun wound.
What do you think that pays to be a brothel manager?
I mean, how good's the brothel,
That's my question, too, though.
right? Like, what does it pay to run a car dealership? Are you selling BMWs? Are you selling Kias? You know what
I'm pretty
saying?
sure if you're selling keys, you're still making good money if you're...
Yeah, but you're not making BMW money, bro.
That's actually the same money when you look at it.
I don't know what you mean.
Neither do I. Go on with your story. I apologize.
She made a full recovery. Squizzy got out soon after.
Wait, she got shot in the head and she made a recovery?
Yeah, don't you? When you get shot in the head?
I mean, what'd she get shot in the head with, a wad?
Take a couple Advil, throw a Band-Aid on it, get back to work, bro.
Because there was a brothel, maybe getting shot in the head just meant, you know, she...
They missed the front center, which is my only weakness. 3 millimeters to the right.
You must
You're shit out of luck, mate.
You got to be specific about these weaknesses.
On the night of February 28th, 1916,
February 28th, leap year.
February 28th. Yeah, 1916. A man calling himself... No, February 29th is leap year, bro.
Oh, wow. I don't know
Bro.
much.
Bro.
I'm just saying it's close to leap year. I was making a note for our listeners.
Bro. A man calling himself Lestrange ordered a car from the Globe Motor and Taxi Company.
Lestrange, I'm at the brothel. My name's Mr. Lestrange. I guess you can tell what I'm looking to get.
Well, we have none of that here.
But I crave Lestrange.
Everything we have here is quite normal.
I don't believe that, you know, but it's strange to me, mate.
Good call.
I haven't seen it before, right? Let me get that sniz.
21-year-old. That's the official Australian term for vagina.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Sniz?
sniz. The official. It's in the Aussie dictionary. Sniz, officially the Australian term for vagina. So write that one down, Fazal.
Sneeze, okay.
Yeah, there we
Because
go.
it's good to know because I have really bad allergies. So if I go, I've got a sneeze.
Yeah.
I got to really hit those
Everyone's
E's
like,
hard.
wait.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna sniz, and they're like, "Wait, what are you gonna do?"
All the girls, if you have a good set, you know, after you get off stage, they're like, oh, right here. They lift up their skirts. Did someone say sniz? Have a wee gander.
Do you want to beat up my sniz? Which means get my vagina drunk. I don't know why they say that, but it's like kind of a thing there.
Are you fucking serious?
100%?
I feel like you're giving him bad advice and you're lying about stuff.
100% serious, man. I never give bad advice or lie on the show. That's one thing you know about me, and the fact that you question me about that kind of makes me rethink this whole venture. 21-year-old William Patrick Haynes was sent to pick up the fare from Lestrange.
Okay.
3 days later, 2 men saw the cab abandoned on the side of the road. Thinking they might have found a free, broken-down car to fix, they instead discovered William's body on the floor of the car, shot 4 times and covered with the floor mat.
All right, you know what? Let's go to a different car. There's other cars we can fix. This one stinks.
We shot him 4 times in the same spot in the head just to be certain.
And then a guy walks up and goes like, headshot? Yeah, it's his only weakness.
This was a big deal, as the victim was the grandson of Victoria's first premier, Dr. William Haynes.
What does that mean, what you just said?
One of the first guys in charge of the entire country.
Oh.
This was his grandson.
And he was found murdered in
He
a
was
car.
found murdered in a cab that he was driving.
Wow. Why would he drive a cab if your grandpa was the fucking running the country? I'd be like, I ain't fucking driving
Because
Uber.
he's a young man.
Because it's Australia. The guy running the country was basically just some guy.
He owns the cab company.
Yeah. He just no one else wanted to do it. And he's like, "Hey, Toby, you do it." And he's a little.
Also, a
"All
little
right."
known fact about Australia, cabs are the diamonds of Australia. It's like the De Beers company. It's the cartel.
Oh, okay.
Huge industry there in Australia, cabs.
Cabs.
Yeah, number one thing. If you meet a cab driver in Australia,
They are rich.
dude, make friends. That guy could finance your movie. He could pay your medical insurance. Like that's a sugar daddy waiting to happen.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. More facts for you, Feraz. Just
Thank
preparing
you.
you. Dude, just trying to send you off down to that country, ready to rock, ready to go.
I need one of those pens that Will Smith had in Men in Black so that before Feraz leaves, I can just wipe his brain clean of all the bad advice you're giving him.
The great advice I'm giving him. The government offered a £250 reward for information. A milkman, see how I did there?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
A milkman reported seeing two men, one tall and thin, the other short and stout, walking along the road to town with a suitcase, which was then found in a nearby pond. It held a pair of disguises, plus masks, false license plate car license plates, and fake mustaches.
So the cops put him on and just started playing fun games with him. Oh, look, I'm a man with a mustache.
Anyone want a mustache ride?
Oh, every day of my life. Have a seat.
Another tip came
On my
in.
face.
Two men of the same description had purchased a shovel and a pick from a local shop and were later seen digging just off the main road.
Just a couple of diggers. Nothing to see here.
Nothing here at all, mate. Just out here digging holes.
That's right.
It happens to be 6 feet long and about 3 feet deep, but not a big deal.
No
Just
big
need
deal.
it big enough to fit my wiener inside.
When officers checked out the spot, they found a shallow grave, the pick and shovel still inside. Once they learned that many of the items in the case had been purchased on Bourke Street, they quickly had their suspects, one of whom was Squizzy Taylor.
So they kind of knew.
Well,
They're like, okay, this just narrows it down pretty
so
easily.
the plot that they kind of what they came up with, the idea was that there was a bank manager who was known to take that road with money transfers, and so the theory was that Squizzy and his partner had hired this cab driver, and when the cab driver wasn't down with the plan,
They killed him?
they killed him and just fled.
And ironically, the cab driver turned out to be a major person
A really
of
important
importance.
person's grandson.
And I almost feel really bad because it's like, man, they were doing it right. Your grandfather is running the country. You could be a spoiled little bitch asshole. What do they call it? Affluent, like so affluent that you don't.
Affluenza?
You can't connect.
It's a real disease, by the way.
That is not- it's not a
Affluenza.
real disease.
It's a real thing.
It's another one of your fake make up. There's only two
Affluenza.
genders,
Look,
and there's no such thing as
you
fucking
have money-
affluenza.
If you have money, you cannot be held responsible for anything.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
But
to
I'm
understand
saying-
that.
I'm saying, like,
The
so many
most
times that
oppressed
happens.
People are the wealthy.
So okay, I'm not gonna say that. I have no idea about the statistics there, but
The
I'm
most
just gonna say
Yeah.
it's like I feel even more bad because I'm like, this guy could have been a super asshole, and instead he's like, I might be rich, but I'd like to still experience things, work for my money, my shitty cab driver paycheck. I'm gonna go out there and be a good human, and God's
Yeah.
gonna protect
Again,
me.
you're not
Then he was
listening.
fucking murdered.
Cab drivers are the royalty of Australia.
You're an
It's a
idiot.
it's a different hemisphere, bro. They have different rules down there. The water goes the opposite direction.
I heard about that, and I believe that.
But the blood goes the same way.
That's right, from the head,
The suspects,
because that is everyone's weakness.
the suspects were arrested, tried, and convicted on charges of vagrancy.
Wait, so they didn't get tried on the murder?
Not at all.
Why?
Bro.
How'd they get away with that? They couldn't
Because
know evidence.
They couldn't put it together.
They didn't
They
have
need-
DNA or
hold on.
fingerprints or anything.
Hold on.
CSI Sydney.
The next day after their vagrancy conviction, they were informed that on top of their 12-month sentence for hanging out, they would also be charged with the murder.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Squizzy,
Oh, I forgot to mention also the murder. We're going to throw that on top there.
The way he said it was so nonchalant. I forgot. Oh, and by the way, you're going to get the death penalty.
Like it's extra guac.
Yeah.
Oh, so do the guac on there.
Yeah. So you got a $60 parking fine, and you get in the chair. All right.
Okay.
No, wait. How about just the fine? Okay.
Squizzy burst into tears and exclaimed that he would never murder anybody. But later in jail, he was overheard saying to his friend, "They cannot very well pot us if they do not identify us."
Didn't this guy see Shawshank? If you talk about it in jail, people are going to find out.
While there was a pile of evidence, Squizzy's lawyer expertly framed all of it as circumstantial. But the nail in the coffin may have been the testimony of a lady.
He was in the wrong squizzy place at the wrong squizzy time, but you can't squizzy convict him.
Dolly Gray sat in the courtroom throughout the entire trial. Even while Squizzy laid out his alibi, that he was in bed having a romp with a barmaid at a local hotel.
I swear, I was just fucking a hole like a normal man.
And his wife's sitting over there. She's like, if he gets out, he's going to be so busted.
After a little over 2 hours deliberation, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty.
Really?
But he still served a year for the vagrancy charge.
He got away with murder by saying he had an alibi that he was boning some chick?
Yeah, I mean, there's more to it, but that's definitely...
That's the edited version that you're going to let us hear.
All of the evidence was Like, there was a tall guy and a short guy, but there's plenty of tall and short guys.
That is
this
a
stuff
really-
was
yeah.
bought on the street that he's on, but a lot of people buy stuff there.
Yeah.
You know, he was overheard saying this thing of, well, they can't get us if they can't identify us. Well, an innocent man might also say that, like, hey, if there's no identity, they're not going to, like, let's be calm and not freak out here in prison.
Because Australians are so chill. They're just like, man, it could have been anybody. Like, you got to really have a smoking gun. Like, it's really easy to be the
You have
Johnny
to have
Cochran.
you have to have an actual smoking gun
Right.
still in your hand.
It has to be. You have to be holding it on the trial.
They have to actually try you right there during the murder.
With the smoking gun?
Yeah.
So the detective's like, I'm making a bloomin' onion on the barrel. It's so hot. That's a Outback reference. That's all I know about Australia is Crocodile Dundee and Outback Steakhouse.
You just did the first set of every Australian comic
Is it?
when they come to the United States.
That's right. What do they say? They
Every
just-
single one of them has some bit about the blooming onion in the
Oh,
Outback Steakhouse.
well, you got to. See, I understand the culture. Got a great grasp.
Is that the midget sniffing farts all the time of Australian comedians?
Is that something?
Isn't that like the first that's the bit that like every little person comedian has is the smelling farts all the time?
I think it is.
I don't know. I mean,
I think you're
don't-
right.
There's like 2 midget comics that you know. Little person. Sorry. What do we call him?
Well, no, I can name at least 3: Brad Williams,
Yes.
Nick Novicki,
Yep.
That's all I had.
Tanya Lee Davis. Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
And
They
yes,
all have it. All right. If it's 3 for 3, I'll give it to you.
even if they don't talk about it, it's pretty
I
clear
don't
they
know-
smell
I don't-
farts all the time,
I don't know,
right?
I don't know if they all have it. I don't know if they all do that bit, but like I hope they do.
They might not do the bit, but they live it. You know what I mean? They're smelling
do.
farts, those little guys.
That's their reality.
They really are.
Right. Wait.
Stinky nuts and farts all day. It's great.
Squizzy still served a year on the vagrancy charge, which he appealed twice. After his release, he jumped right back into the life, building a solid criminal conglomerate of armed robbery, prostitution, race fixing, protection rackets, and the very lucrative business of rigging juries.
So this guy's a troublemaker no matter what. He's to the point of rigging juries. That's fucking huge. So
I mean, I like where this story is going, though. This is kind of turning into like a Pablo Escobar kind
Yeah.
of Boardwalk Empire kind of rise
Slayton
to
just
power.
snuck that in. He's like, hey, he's a
Yeah.
pickpocketer. Then all of a sudden he's like, he's rigging juries?
I just want
Yeah.
to point out that he just got off on a murder charge, and his business is rigging,
Rigging
juries. I just want
juries.
to point.
So it's, bing, 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 bing. Okay.
While he was inside, the state of Victoria introduced a new law that would help make Squizzy a rich man: the 6 o'clock closing.
What the fuck is that?
Conservatives in the country had been pushing for the complete prohibition of alcohol in order to curb moral decline.
Oh, God, that always works,
The
right?
cutoff for booze sales
Jesus, morons.
moved from 11 p.m. to 6 p.m. Of course.
Oh, wait, like at 6, after 6, like, last call, you're like, the
last
sun's
call's
still
at
up,
6.
mate.
Yep.
It's not even nighttime yet. I want to get my sniz on.
Of course, it had the exact opposite effect for the law-abiding members of society. The 6 o'clock close created a tradition known as the 6 o'clock swill, where people would get off work, then frantically try to get as drunk as possible before the cutoff.
They're getting in more drunk driving accidents. Like, fuck, get out of my way, mate. It's almost 5:55.
Right.
But most didn't stop there. Sly grog houses, which illegally sold liquor after hours, already existed in the back rooms of hotels and rented houses. While some were fairly nice, others merely held a few crates as chairs and dirty mattresses for adventurous drunks looking for a tryst.
And it helps fucking organized crime get richer than and have more power than they already had. Take a note, prohibition lovers.
Customers from the seedy joints almost never made it home with money in their pockets. If they didn't spend it all on booze,
They got it robbed, huh? From
They
a
would
bunch of
be
scummy dudes.
mugged
And
on
then
the
you
way
can't
home.
go to the cops and be like, I got robbed. They're like, well, what were you doing? You'd be like, I wasn't at one of those speakeasies.
a man named James McGinnis was assaulted in 1916 while leaving a sly grog shop called Porky Walker's.
Oh, I like the name of that one. Porky Walkers.
I mean, that whole sentence was fantastic.
It sounds like you take fat people out to just try to help them get healthy.
sly grog shop named Porky Waters.
It's a new app on your phone. You click it. If you're fat, we take you for a walk and get you out of your legs moving. Porky Walkers. Hey, hit me up. 5 stars, please. Porky Walkers. You know, you get a little beep on your phone like,
Wait, 5 stars on what?
I accept it. On the app. On the app.
On what?
On the app.
But it's 1908.
Well, they need to get cell phones if they want to make some cash, mate. They killed the Uber driver, you know.
When the robbers discovered that he only had 1 pound on him, they made up the difference by stealing James' glasses.
That's not very porky at all.
Needless to say, moving the cutoff for drinks back 5 hours merely made these places more popular.
Yeah, no shit.
Some streets were so heavily littered with bottles by Monday morning that people had difficulty walking down the road.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I mean, this place sounds fucking fantastic.
yeah, it
now.
sounds like a party.
First, I was kind of annoyed about the whole get arrested because you might do something.
Get arrested
thing.
for kicking it?
Getting arrested for being poor thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But at the same place, it's like you might get arrested for being poor, but people are getting so wasted you can't walk down the street without there being bottles, and technically it's illegal. Very Australian.
And at this point, I mean, if the country's getting that fucked up, everybody's poor. Like, they can't arrest all of us, right? Just fucking start drinking.
I mean, the cops were probably trashed too.
Oh, they're like, fuck, mate, I would like to arrest you, but it's a few more minutes till last call.
Yeah.
So
They're like, you know, cops get off the beat. They go, alcoholism is a huge problem in police forces, I've heard.
Yo, sure, dude.
Right?
It's a huge problem everywhere, actually. It
Everywhere.
helps numb the pain of any job
Yeah,
where you're like, I'm
understandable.
sick of just seeing the negative side of humanity.
Oh, yeah.
Whiskey!
So that means they'd be like, normally they do it on when they're getting off their shift, but now they're like, yo, we're not going to be able to get it after
Yeah.
6, so.
All right, bro. Well, I got to go to the shooting range and work out my Glock. So let's grab a couple shots before then, because bar's going to be closed.
Yeah.
Right? And now they're running around drunk. Drunk cops.
Edward Ted Whitey
ETW.
was born in 1882, the fifth of 11 children. His parents were usually too drunk to keep an eye on all of them, so Ted grew up on the streets of Fitzroy,
Better
the
off
other
Ted.
worst neighborhood of Melbourne.
Oh.
He mostly stayed out of trouble until 1902 when he lost a street fight, then returned later with a large piece of metal tied to the end of a leather belt and beat the winner over the head.
No one told you the winner was a kangaroo with boxing gloves.
He avoided jail by paying a fine and immediately began his professional fighting career. He
Oh,
quickly
really?
became a crowd favorite for his style of standing in front of his opponent and exchanging relentless punishment, never going down.
Oh, so this was a blessing in disguise. He got a career out of it.
When he first emerged as a famous boxer, Ted was noted for his good looks. As one reporter put it in 1908, Ted looked, quote,
Like a statue of one of the Greek gods. Even the wide, round, Jaxian top head and long, straight nose, the likeness was generally remarkable.
guys, I finally nailed that Australian accent.
That
Isn't
was
that so great?
That, I'm
Dude,
so
I totally
happy.
nailed that accent.
Great job,
now.
Slaton. You really sounded Australian.
Oh,
Rich.
thanks, man.
I'm proud of you,
Seriously.
man.
But by 1911, the description changed to, quote,
A typical hard-jawed pug who looks like if he had been several times assaulted with high-speed road metal, which is also a great name for a band. High-speed road metal.
So this guy just got his face beat to shit.
yeah, he was real pretty, and then he was real not.
not.
He
yeah.
went from
He went from
Jason
being-
Priestley to Jason Pretzel Face.
He went from a Greek god to a hard-jawed pug who
went-
looked like he'd been beaten with road metal.
He went from a Greek god to a pile of shawarma.
Ooh, that sounds delicious, though.
Dude, I could go for some shawarma.
I would not
bro.
I would not eat a Greek god, but I would eat a pile of shawarma.
By the time he retired from boxing in 1913, Ted was a multiple-time champion in 2 weight classes and one of the most famous fighters in the country. Unable to compete due to growing arthritis pain, he did the only thing that made sense and became the leader of the Fitzroy Gang.
Yeah, Fitzroy's.
Just one year after leaving the ring, police already knew him for running a crew pulling basic scams like 3-card Monte, race fixing, and Indian darts.
Race fixing.
Which I tried to look up what Indian darts are, and I still couldn't figure it out. So
Indian darts?
yeah.
I'm sure we could get an impression of an Indian dart right now. Imagine a character that's an Indian dart. Just a dart that hits the wall.
I'm going into the center.
It goes. I can do a good dart sound.
Here I come, bullseye.
Bullseye! It is bullseye!
This fucking show.
You're winning. Many points at the bar right now. I hit the target.
That year, Ted was shot in the face twice. But he refused to identify the culprit.
That's
which
his weak
only
spot,
bolstered
man.
it. Not Ted's weak spot.
No?
He got shot in the face, not the head. See?
Okay.
That's a good point.
Face.
This is the problem. A lot of these people in Australia, they're aiming for the cheeks.
Yeah, stop shooting the face, bro. You can't kill an Australian by shooting him in the face.
The
We
devil's
all
in the
know that.
details.
That's what we always had the saying in the Fitzroy gang. You want to kill a Ted? You go to shoot the head.
By 1917, Ted controlled many of Fitzroy's low-class brothels and almost all of its sly grog shops.
He was known for giving the first TED Talk, actually.
He had the police in his pocket and everything was going great, except for problems with his crosstown rival from Richmond, Squizzy Taylor.
Ooh, shape it up.
The Uptown Squizzy.
It all started with a carefully planned robbery of the Kilpatrick and Company jewelry store in June of 1918. The job, a joint operation between members of the Richmond and Fitzpatrick crews, was a success at first. They pulled down 1,435 pounds,
Which is a ton of money these
around
days.
100 grand today.
Yeah.
But a few days later, some of the Fitzpatrick boys tried to fence their share at a shop recommended by Squizzy and walked right into an
Oh,
arrest for the
fucking trap.
robbery.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The Fitzroy...
Something's not right here, huh? The guy at the pawn shop counter is wearing a badge and has one of those blue caps.
The Fitzroy men suspected that their Richmond partners had tipped off the cops to push out their competition.
Bloody rat.
Their theory gained steam when Squizzy's partner, Henry Stokes, gave evidence for the prosecution in exchange for dropping his own charges.
He's a narc.
The men were acquitted, but as they were leaving the trial, the factions brawled on the steps of the courthouse.
Come on, then. Let's have it.
Punch me in the face and I'll see what happens. Let's go. Here you go.
This was the beginning of the Fitzroy vendetta.
Cheetah! Cheetah! Punch me in the nuts! He's got a cat in his pocket! He's going for my face! That's my weak spot! No! Get him! Huh? On the front steps, huh?
A few months later,
Put another shrimp on the barbie for me. I'm gonna be hungry after this one.
We're calling them prawns.
put a prawn on the Barbie, which means give me a good blowy, dude.
Yeah, good.
Again, I think I already told you that one, but just make sure I just want to make sure it's really in there.
Oh, got it.
A few months later, Dolly Gray went to a party in Fitzroy wearing nearly $14,000 worth of jewelry from the heist.
Like $14,000 now?
Yeah,
or?
today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's a show off shit.
Somehow,
You're gonna get
Stupid
fucking
ass.
her
dog.
drink
Yeah.
got spiked and she woke up without her accessories.
Oh, serves you right. You're a fucking thief and you got thieved.
In February of 1919, members of the Richmond gang invaded Ted Whiting's home in the middle of the night and shot him in the head 6 times.
But he survived.
He survived.
No, he didn't, eh? I was just joking.
According to doctors, he was saved by the same thing that made him a great boxer.
You say you's a gangster, but you never pop nothing. Did he send Snizzy that track?
Man, he got shot 6 times.
And then he made a hit rap album.
What saved him was what made him a great boxer, according to his doctor, his exceptionally thick skull.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool that he could get shot in the head. How invincible would you feel if you get
6
shot in the head? Like,
times.
as long as they don't get me in the eye or in the teeth, I'm fine. Like, how great would you feel? I could go out and just do
What if
anything.
his weakness was just like the tip of his elbow?
Well, hold on. They got him in the Australian weak spot, and he survived.
Yeah,
That's why they're like, I swear this works on all the Aussies. And they're like, not on Ted.
Not on Ted.
Then they changed the saying that day. It was like, you want to kill Ted? Fucking doesn't matter even if you shoot him in the head.
Yeah, there's no rhymes for that one now.
No, that's a great guy. Doesn't matter if you shoot him in the head. Dead,
matter if you
dead
shoot
in
him
the
in the
head. Better off Ted.
Why don't you just stab him in the heart just one time?
I don't want to see red.
Stab.
You heard what I said.
Stab.
Yeah, stab Ted in the heart just one time instead of shooting him in the head. Do something instead.
Well, I never thought about that.
If you don't understand, that's my friend Ed. He listens real great.
If Ed lives real good, he watched him get stabbed, watched him bled.
Over the next few months, the slums of Melbourne turned into an all-out war zone. Barely a night went by when the gangs didn't exchange gunfire. May was particularly bloody.
I just picture them both standing at point blank, shooting each other in the
Exchanging.
head, just exchanging fire.
Right then. Yeah. The lofty exchange. All right.
Till tomorrow.
Good evening.
Well, he got me in the face. Not a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't get my head, right? There's like blood coming from his forehead. Cool. Quite a thick skull over there.
In the span of days, a Richmond gangster was shot 7 times and another brutally beaten by a Fitzroy crew.
So remind me which one's which? Richmond
Is Squizzy, Fitzroy is Ted Whiting.
Fitzroy's Ted Whiting, and now he's already survived he's back on the streets after surviving his 6 bullets.
6 bullets can't stop Ted.
Jesus, man.
In the old days too, old like dirty bullets that get you infected. They're all scraped. They're not like
Just in time to drop my album. Get Squizzy or die trying.
Get Squizzy or die
Get Squizzy
trying.
or die
Pick it up
trying.
now at Tower Records, and you'll have a great time there. Tell them Shefsky sent you. They love me.
Squizzy struck back, sending bullets through the windows of Ted and another Fitzroy gangster. Then Henry Stokes got into a public argument with Long Harry Slater.
That sounds like you.
I know.
Long
right?
Harry Slaton.
The great-great-grandfather of A.C. Slater.
Which ended with Slater's admission to the hospital for
The
5
kangaroo
bullet
ate all my
wounds.
homework last night.
At trial, Stokes claimed self-defense and was found not guilty for shooting Long Henry 5 times.
And it worked. There's a lot of not guilties here.
A lot of not guilty,
I just
bro.
can't wait to go to Australia and commit some felonies because apparently as long as you're not stealing a pocket watch or poor, you can get away with
If we get a call from you in a couple weeks from jail asking you to bail us out or asking us to bail you out, guys, that episode, we're like, why is your accent Australian? I've been here for 2 days. First of all,
It's
Finally, the law had enough.
it rubbed off on me.
The governor appointed a new chief commissioner of police police, Sir George Stewart, a Londoner, and the first outsider in the position in over 60 years.
You dirty Australians, I'm going to clean up this town.
He brought reform, including systematic police training and the use of fingerprint analysis for investigation.
Ooh, they already had fingerprint analysis in those days? In the 1920s? or
Wait a minute, what's that you got there? You mean you can just look at the fingerprints and tell who it belongs to?
of course, yeah. So what have you been using to identify?
We just been sort of just kind of just staring at the things in the room and just sort of staring at the people's hands and the general height. And if the height seemed to match up, we thought maybe it's the
Our
guy.
police work in this country is mostly just hope.
I don't.
Yeah, we mostly just give up on that kind of thing and put him away for a few months because he likes to hang out.
You know, the pubs all close at 6, so you got to go get your drinking.
Yeah, well, I commend you for the work you've done this far, but I'm going to catch you up to the 1920s CSI style.
Sir George improved working conditions for the officers and motivated the force.
Got you some air conditioning and more donuts.
He even arrested Ted Whiting, putting him away for 9 months for being, quote, the occupier of a house frequented by thieves.
You're under arrest, Ted Whiting. It looks like you're not so white after all.
Ted moved back to Fitzroy after his release, but when he came back to find his gang had been completely dismantled.
Oh, that is always a heartbreaking part.
Guys, I'm gonna get the gang back together.
Yeah, about that. So Steve got a job at an Amazon warehouse.
Amazon.
And
Yeah, and my wife is,
Yeah.
she wants to move, kind of.
yeah, so I've just been kind of laying low and just kind of taking care of errands before I get her a lot of milk. She
But
has-
what about Squizzy? Remember we used to have the thing, get Squizzy or die trying. I got shot in the face 6 times, guys.
Yeah, he's cool, he's fine. But
Yeah, I haven't
we're
talked
just
to him for a
not-
while. Yeah,
I feel like I don't even know you guys anymore. We seen each other's dicks.
about that.
Yeah, seriously.
I told my wife about that.
She was
I'm not
not
really allowed
happy.
to. Yeah, I'm not allowed to hang out. So I actually get in trouble for this conversation.
Yeah, we don't even really kick it together anymore.
Yeah.
See-
Honestly, like, I'm just feeling really vulnerable right now, and you guys are making me pretty sad.
Hey, yeah, no, wow.
You know what hurts more than a bullet to the head? It's a bullet to your friendship.
Well,
I mean,
I wish I could console you more, but
yeah.
I'm not. My wife's gonna get pissed that I'm.
You know, I think
If you need me, I'll be fucking one of those bird things.
I think I'm getting a text.
What's
and there's
that?
just smoke signals up in the corner.
Oh, those are the texts of the old days, the smoke signals. Very clever of you.
It appeared that the Chief Commissioner Sir George had done his job,
Sir Boy George.
except the real
If
reason.
that was the chief commissioner in Australia, can you imagine
Sir Boy George?
Boy George being
What's
a
the
commissioner? or
famous
something?
Boy George song?
Isn't it the Hurt Me one? Do you really want to hurt me? Isn't that him?
Oh,
Yeah, it's him, yeah.
Such a good song. Holy fuck.
Do you really
But song
want to
Australian.
hurt me?
Do you really want to make me cry?
The only way is to shoot me in the head. That's my weak spot.
Yeah. Shoot me in the eye. The
Ex-
Aboriginal guy already kissed me. Then I fucked a bird and I got the hips.
They're not. They're like gophers. They're like hot gophers.
I know about the gophers you're talking about.
Quokkas.
But I also fucked a bird.
Nice.
I'm fucking a lot of those animals here. There's a lot of life. There's these snakes. They're long and brown, and they love to get down. That's some of the saying we have around
It
here.
appeared the chief commissioner had done his job, except the real reason the Fitzroy boys had fled was because the police focus on Ted's operation had left things wide open for the boys from Richmond.
I did kiss a venomous spider too, but we didn't go much farther than that.
In August, Squizzy was arrested after police saw him jump into a moving car immediately after someone fired shots into a Fitzroy Sly grog shop.
They couldn't prove it was Squizzy, but they know what the fuck's going on.
There was not enough evidence to get him for the shooting, so prosecutors settled for yet another conviction on loitering with intent to commit a felony, resulting in an 18-month sentence.
What are you in for?
I was hanging out a bunch, and they assumed I was about to do something wrong after I was done hanging out.
Classic.
That was overturned on appeal.
Thank goodness.
Squizzy and Slater made it clear that Ted Whiting was no longer welcome by shooting at him whenever they saw his face.
Whoa.
These idiots still want to try my face.
Dude, yeah. They think they got me? They think they got me? Don't they know to shoot me in the hand?
Yeah.
Ted moved to a quiet suburb where he ran a produce shop until he passed away in 1941.
You can use cauliflower for crust for pizza if you don't want too many carbs.
Sir George was not so lucky. When it became clear that his efforts had merely made way for a more dangerous criminal, the stress was too much. He died of a heart attack while driving his Cadillac in May of 1920.
Well, that's the way you want to go.
I mean, that's a beautiful way to die.
Right?
'Cause
Driving
then
your
for the
car.
rest of time, someone has to read the sentence, he died in his Cadillac. And it's just like, oh, he died,
Right.
but this guy was
He died of
killing
a heart attack while driving his Cadillac.
Guess he had some cardiac problems.
best.
right?
1920 also saw another end to Squizzy's relationship with Dolly.
Is this bitch still around?
Oh, yeah, Dolly is around, dude. Dolly, well, it's about to end, though.
She learned that he had a side chick, Lorna Kelly, a 22-year-old waitress who he secretly banged at his brother's house.
Oh, gosh.
Fed up, Dolly split for good.
I wish you'd describe the sex a little bit more often on this
Just
show.
because we're in Melbourne doesn't mean we can't make an Eiffel Tower. Hey, brother.
Dolly actually left for Adelaide. Well, you'll be appearing when you're in Australia.
I will. I'll go find her grave.
Oh, that's right. And make love on it, please.
Just gonna hump the dirt.
And when you come, please yell out crime.
I do that every time I come anyway.
Thanks, man.
I love you.
Promos, bro.
It's just such a travesty, I feel like.
That better be true, by the way.
Squizzy and Lorna married later that year. Before long, Lorna gave birth to a baby girl. But Squizzy was not one for the domestic life. Rather than stay home, he spent his time planning robberies and pursuing women. It wasn't long before he had a girlfriend, Ida Pender, a hot 17-year-old.
Ida Pender, too. She was pretty good looking.
A hot 17-year-old jazzer he met at a nightclub.
Oh, I don't even know what that means. A
Means
jazzer?
she danced to jazz music.
Okay, so she got a great body.
Mm-hmm.
She hangs out at nightclubs. Like, this girl gets down. That's how Australia is. I'm just warning you.
In June of 1921, after a year-long series of brazen robberies, Squizzy was finally caught seemingly red-handed, breaking into a customs warehouse. He was arrested, but released on bail. But when the trial date arrived, Squizzy and Ida were nowhere to be found. For the next year, Squizzy hid from the law, smack dab in the middle of Melbourne. He even kept burgling,
Did he fake his own death?
nearly getting caught in March of 1922 when he was spotted fleeing from a woman's clothing shop carrying a pile of stolen loot in a getaway car. By the time the cops found the vehicle, he was gone.
Help, that man. He stole all the dresses and a bunch of money.
But he did leave behind some personal effects, including a scrapbook of his own newspaper clippings.
Wait, at the scene of this crime?
Of his own newspaper clippings?
Wait. This is at the scene of the crime?
I don't know where they found them. I think it was in the car, the getaway car.
Okay.
But they tracked him down and they found his scrapbook of his press releases.
Dude, so many of these criminals like keep their their saved tagged photos or whatever of their crimes. You're like, wait,
This is like their Facebook. Like this is like on
Yeah.
Instagram.
it's their
or
resume
something.
or something. Yeah, it
This
is.
is like it's like their diary. It's like every night he looks at it. You know, he's like, oh, I really.
It's really interesting. Like
We
this,
had some good times.
dude, Feraz, it's really weird how many criminals like they keep their stuff and you're like, oh, you are like proud. You're not just doing this to make your cash. Like this is your art.
They love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's fucking
proud.
weird.
And they're also like that's the thing. You read this, even the story's not done yet, but like this is a man of ambition.
Yeah.
like this isn't
He's
just
got
about
goals, bro.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not stopping. I could stop. I've made money here and there, but no, I want to.
This was his portable vision board. He's just trying to manifest what he wants in the world.
That's what he left behind was a vision board.
While in hiding, Squizzy didn't just read his news coverage, he also became a contributor, writing letters to the Herald paper saying that he would turn himself in when he was ready.
This whole thing is a plot for him just to be a blogger or a journalist.
Sometimes he wrote to correct their articles about the police manhunt and his whereabouts. Quote, I wasn't at the opening night at Majesty's, I was dancing at the Palace.
hilarious.
Wanted posters for the couple went up all over the state of Victoria, and eventually Ida was caught window shopping in downtown Melbourne. But not Squizzy, who continued to taunt police with letters to the papers and promises to surrender whenever he felt like it. At 7:45 on the morning of September 21st, 1922, Squizzy Taylor pulled up the police headquarters in a chauffeured car, tipped the driver, gave an impromptu press conference to a waiting group of reporters, then walked inside and announced, Good morning, here I am.
That's a really weird Australian you just did there.
Hey, I've been hiding out in New York City the last 4 years.
That's how I got this whole inflection on my
on, let me
accent.
try-
you
let me
know?
try-
How you
let me
doing?
try that. Hold on,
Excuse this cabbie hat.
me
Hey,
try-
put another shrimp on the fucking barbie, yeah?
Let me get a second. Hold on, let me
right,
just
go. All
get,
right.
let me get in the space.
Get loose, get loose.
Yeah.
Get low, get loose.
Yeah. Good morning. Here I am.
It's the same thing.
No, that was way different.
You'd say, good
Here
morning.
I am.
Here I am. You got to say, I.
Here I am.
Here I am.
Here I am.
Yeah, that's right. That's a
Good
little closer
morning.
there.
Here I am.
Good morning.
There we
Here
go,
I am.
there.
You got
Look
it,
at that.
Slaton.
Add a little grit to it now.
Good morning. Here.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was good
that was
there.
great.
It
Go
was
back
Good
to
morning.
it.
Here I am. That's gone now.
Slow
Gone.
down. You're rushing through it.
I always
Feel the word.
I only Polish through it, bro. I don't Russian through it.
That was a good. I like your wordplay. Groucho fucking shit marks over here.
So he does the thing.
During his police interview, he confessed to often going out on the town in disguise.
yeah, guilty as charged. I go out in the town a lot. You know.
Sometimes as a woman,
So sue me.
Sometimes as a woman. I knew it.
but more often he dressed as a schoolboy Because of his size, the costume was so convincing
Oh, wow.
that he often walked right by police who were searching for him.
That's hilarious.
I mean, this guy is
Don't mind
amazing.
me, just a little schoolboy.
Definitely not a criminal of any kind.
That's right, I'm a little Joey.
I'm little Joey, a gold mustache.
The night before his trial for the warehouse break-in,
And syphilis, but I'm just a kid, you know?
but I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid out there.
Here comes that real ugly boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Boy again.
Squiz-
Excuse me, sir.
What do you want, you ugly boy?
Oh, just a little boy looking for some pancakes.
I don't want to give you pancakes. In fact, looking at your general visage ruins me fucking day.
Well, that's why it's so hard to be a little boy. He's got like the sailor hat on.
The night before his trial for the warehouse break-in, Squizzy was shot in the leg.
Oh, Squizzy!
It's just a leg.
He appeared in court the next day on crutches. In his defense, he told the jury that he'd been hiding in the warehouse, which was unlocked to avoid a beating from some much scarier criminals. The first jury couldn't reach a verdict. The second found him not guilty.
Wow, he's got exceptional luck with the law.
Well, he made a business out of rigging juries, we said earlier.
So am I just to assume that every juror that we've been dealing with through the story, he's rigged?
I can't confirm or deny that with the evidence that I've seen.
Do you think, but while you were reading it originally, did a part of you wonder, like, has he been rigging these juries? Or do you think that's not, that he just was getting off because they're just so chill?
I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, first of all, bro, if you've ever been sitting in a hostel, you know that
Yeah.
Aussies super chill when it comes to judgment.
I've had these dreads since I was 2.
Before they were cool?
1 year later, police tracked 2 suspects from a bank robbery turned murder to the home where Squizzy was shacking up with his girlfriend. Everyone was arrested, and Squizzy was charged with the whole being near thieves thing again,
Oh, they couldn't get it on him, so they had to just give him another charge.
which was later upgraded to accessory to murder since he was supposedly the guy who planned the job.
I like he just said upgraded, like he got hooked up with like first class when he's waiting for coach.
He was held for 2 months.
Surprise,
before-
upgrade! Thanks for waiting around. You gave up your seat to another member, and now you get upgraded.
We know you've been coming around a lot. You're a frequent customer here
That's
at the
right.
courthouse, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade you.
That's right, you're a regular here.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you, you get the hookups.
He was held for 2 months before finally being granted bail. The moment he got out, he began to intimidate witnesses and planning to break his buddy out of prison.
Well, that's what you do, right?
Yeah, of
You're
course.
like, you're out, you better get to work now and make sure that you don't, you know.
But the plan was exposed. His friend was executed for the murder. and
Oh, whoa,
Squizzy-
his friend died during this time?
Oh, he's got. I mean,
Shit just got real.
Yeah.
There's like a side story about people like tried to protest against the execution and keep him alive and stuff, but they executed him like a lot.
Wow.
They like super
You
executed.
just read right over that. I was just like, whoa,
I mean,
an
they shot
execution.
him.
is-
They shot him right in the head. They knew where to get him.
Oh, it's a firing squad.
have no
Australia
idea.
style.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way you kill people.
In Australia?
Or with an Indian dog.
That's right in his forehead.
Squizzy was charged with conspiracy, harboring a fugitive, and the whole hanging with thieves thing. Only the last charge stuck, and he went inside for another 6 months. When he got out, he faced the biggest challenge of his life: divorce court.
Dun, 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 dun.
Your Honor, she's trying to keep me couch. I stole that couch.
All right, well, listen here. This is my court, see? And you ain't going to come up in my court tell me how we're going down, Squizzy. I don't give a fuck how many people you shot in the head.
Oh, dude, multicultural judge in Australia, Judge Judy. But that's a great theme for a show. I love it.
By now, Lorna had enough of Squizzy's bullshit.
I've had enough of your bullshit.
Not only was he now
Squizzy.
openly calling
You could
Ida
just
his wife,
squeeze yourself out of here.
Change the record.
but he hadn't. Not only was he now openly calling Ida his wife, but he hadn't made his £300 a week child support payment in almost a year.
He's a scummy shit dad, too.
Despite often
Man, fuck
spending
this guy.
twice that much on a single night of partying.
Ugh.
Squizzy represented himself in court poorly. Quote, "Do you remember me giving you £200? He asked.
I'm
Yes.
just talking about my dick.
200 pounds of frenum.
Yes, she replied, but you got that back from me for your law case. So he gave her £200 to take care of the baby, and he was like,
Can I borrow a couple bucks?
Can I borrow like £200 just for a little thing? I'll give it back, I think.
But you
Probably
just gave it to me.
Don't you want the boy to have a father?
not. Yeah, it's most important.
But you just gave me the money.
Yeah, but kind of need it back for the boy to have a father.
All right, but if you ask me about this in court, I'm going to tell him what you did.
The court ruled in Lorna's favor, and he was ordered to resume support along with 10 months of back payments, totaling around $200,000.
Whoa!
I mean, they're basically just like, hey,
today's
Squizzy,
money.
here's a reason to go kill people again.
3 weeks after his biggest loss in court, he and Ida married in the same church where he'd wed Lorna.
Oh, he's like, there's a silver lining. I'm getting hitched.
Wait, what happened to Dolly?
Dolly left a long time ago.
Dolly left a long time ago.
When Lorna came around,
Oh, right.
Dolly pieced, and now Lorna's like, now you're fucking this teenage dancer.
Hey, man, even Stephen Hawking had to get an upgrade to new chicks.
You got it. Sometimes,
What's a Squizzy to do?
sometimes everybody's just got to find new lovers.
Squizzy and Ida had a great time, distancing themselves from thievery, although still planning and funding jobs, while pursuing other endeavors. Squizzy turned his focus back to the place where it all started, the racetrack. But that went belly up when members of the posh Caulfield Cup committee had him ordered off the grounds for being, quote, an undesirable person.
That's insulting. That's
Upset over the insults.
What are you?
Whoa, yeah.
You're making it sound like I'm some guy that shoots people and steals women's dresses and doesn't pay child support and gets us hung up for, hanging out in wrong places.
that's exactly what I'm saying. It's pretty undesirable.
This is outrageous.
Upset over the insult, Squizzy got drunk, returned at 4 a.m. with a can of gasoline, and burned
burn
down
the whole place down.
Burned down the members section of the grounds, leaving the public section and the actual racetrack.
Oh, it was like all
untouched.
accurate. He's like, oh, you'll see exactly who I'm talking to by the way I burn this down.
But that didn't get him enough attention, so Squizzy tried his hand at producing and starring in the movie Riding to Win about his own life, with Ida playing herself alongside.
What? Wait. No. Slaton, are you saying this guy literally? And this is in modern day and age when you can
This is
make a feature film for $10,000. This is the old days
In
when
1925.
There wasn't a skeleton crew
You
with a
actually-
DP who needs an IMDb credit.
exactly. You actually had people filming on film. You actually had a sound dude.
Yep.
I mean, it is hard to make movies, but this guy probably is still in the film business, right?
I mean, talk about method.
He's a great criminal and he has access to a camera. Guess what? He's still a producer.
The film was banned by the censors in Victoria, but released 2 years later in Brisbane under a different title.
Dude, we got to see this fucking movie.
Oh, it's got all the Laurel things on
You
the
got to
poster.
find this movie and put it in like the show notes or like
We'll try to
a
find
link
that.
to it.
Oh,
I
it was
don't know if it's
great.
available. I'll try
We
to
did
find
real
that.
good at Sundance, and we're going to be on Netflix.
With the sly grog business slowing down and thieving becoming more difficult for a man of his fame, Squizzy tried his hand at new criminal enterprises. Labeling himself a protector of women, he began to focus on brothels.
Oh, that's funny.
But in 1925, 2 of his 18-year-old ladies were arrested and sent to a nunnery for rehabilitation.
That's what they used to do in the old days?
Soon after, the convent's mother superior
Is it weird
called
that I'm more disgusted about them becoming nuns than being at brothels?
It makes me think that like a lot of nuns might be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You're all hanging out with them. You're like, hey, remember how it used to be? And they're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have been clean for years. You're like, come on, let's have a good time. You know what? That's fine. Let's use the crucifix for a dildo for £25.
Soon after,
It can take care of 3 of us.
That's right. Hey, just don't shoot me with a gun in the face, bud. Shoot me with other things in the face. You know what I'm saying? Hit me in the head with a.
sniz.
That's right in the sneers or even in the forehead.
if you beat me up, I'll let you inside.
That's pretty weird.
God, it's not there, is it? It's
not there. We need more grit.
inside. How do they say side?
Inside. Inside.
If you beat me up, I'll let you inside.
All right.
What's next in the story?
Oh, dude, I love it when Feraz has to actually be like, go on with your story.
Please stop doing these accents, bro.
No, they're great. Keep
Soon
going.
after, the convent's mother superior called the police to complain that Squizzy's men had been cruising the convent looking for their ladies. The police put the squeeze on Squizzy and he backed down.
I like that sentence. He actually he's going into the convent like, where's my girls at?
Where my bitches at?
That's right.
Wow, I like this guy.
Yeah. he's
With
pretty
every
fucking
other
weird.
avenue closing, Squizzy turned to a new venture, the emerging business of snow or cocaine.
What year is this? The 1930s?
1925. 1926-ish.
Okay. Cocaine's just starting to turn into a thing.
It's so in post-World War I, so at the time, the drug was commonly used for dentistry. But
Wow.
it was started like for some medical purposes, and it had been developed in certain ways during World War I, and now it's starting to just become popular.
For dentistry. That's so
Squizzy
interesting. You got a
discovered
couple
it.
cavities, and when you're done, I'm going to fix your teeth, and you're going to have some great plans and confident ideas for business.
Supposedly, Squizzy discovered cocaine at the track, where it was being used to jack up the horses.
Oh, my God. Those giant nostrils.
How
much-
else are we going to get him to fuck us?
I think they meant to make the horses run faster, but yes.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, fuck us, like get us all happy about winning.
Mr. Ed's like, I'll suck your dick for a line.
we should start a record label or something. I don't really think it's a good idea.
This horse over is a real skank. He'll let you fuck him for a bump.
Soon he was in the blow business,
So
but
gross.
as we all know, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Whoa, nice reference there.
Enter John Snowy Cutmore.
I don't think I'd like to enter, John.
Snowy was a cocaine man in Sydney, but he and Squizzy went way back because Snowy was originally from Fitzroy. He'd fled town when Ted Whiting lost power, joining the violent razor gangs of Sydney. But after his partner's murder in a Sydney suburb, Snowy moved back home to live with his mother in his old neighborhood.
So great to see you, Snowy.
Shut up, you old twat.
Okay, I've really missed your sense of humor.
This did not work for...
You like me to make your favorite food? Jeez, he's
I say shut up, you fucking twat.
God, our friend here, your son is really funny.
It's really great to have you back
I don't know
town.
if you get his sense of humor, but he is
I
a cut up.
dreamed about killing the old lot of you.
All right, well, we saved your
these
your
bits.
room just the way it was.
If you need me, I'll be in there robbing out a Squizzy.
Rubbing out a Squizzy? Oh, I like that.
Having Snowy back did not work for Squizzy. Not only was this return,
bringing Snowy back.
not only was this a return to the Fitzroy vendetta, but Snowy could be competition in the coke game. The last straw came in October of 1927. Snowy entered a beer house where he got shit-faced, smashed bottles, refused to pay, and then punched the female barmaid in the face.
What is going to happen to Snowy?
Which is also known as a classic Friday in Australia.
That's right.
It just so happens that she was the girlfriend of one of Squizzy's imprisoned friends
Oh, you fucked up.
and under his protection.
Gonna prepare to be squizzified.
Days later, Squizzy found out, so he and his friends hired a cab, searching every bar for their rival, but he was nowhere to be found. Then at 6 p.m. on October 27th,
It's almost Halloween. You're gonna be wearing a coffin for a costume.
the car pulled to a stop in front of a bluestone cottage on Barclay Street, Snowy's mom's house.
Named after me favorite basketball player.
Inside, Snowy was lying in bed, sick with influenza.
Oh.
I don't feel so good. Wow.
He's sneezing and like cocaine's flying out of his nose.
There are a couple of theories about what happened next.
Uh-oh.
But here's the official story. Squizzy told the driver to wait outside before bursting in the kitchen and pushing past Snowy's mom, who was cooking dinner.
Oh, hello. You're one of his friends. You're coming over to hang out with Snowy? Okay, right this way.
Shut up, you old twat.
Wow, his sense of humor is just like your son's. They must be friends. Go on upstairs, bud.
Thank you, sir.
He marched upstairs to ambush his rival. But what Squizzy didn't know was that Snowy slept with a gun under his pillow.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't you?
Both men fired.
This is Australia, for God's sakes.
Snowy was killed by a bullet to the chest. Squizzy took a shot in his right side.
Which is not my weak spot. So, ha!
A minute later, Squizzy, helped by a friend, stumbled out of the house and into the cab. I'm shot. Drive like hell to St. Vincent's. The cabbie tried to oblige, but the car got stuck in traffic.
Why'd you take the fucking 405?
Said you use Waze or something. Get me out of here.
By the time they reached the hospital,
Side streets, mate.
Squizzy Taylor was unconscious.
Oh, bloody hell.
He died at St. Vincent's Hospital at the age of 39.
Oh, his last squiz.
He was buried at Brighton Cemetery in a grave marked Taylor. There were so many onlookers that police were needed to help keep the crowd in check.
Wait, Squizzy didn't have a gravestone that says Squizzy on it?
Nope, it just said Taylor.
Now, that's the biggest crime of this story.
I know, right?
You want to etch Squizzy into some stone, or at least I do.
mean, yeah, you gotta have Squizzy. I mean, what is it about? We just heard a story about a terrible, terrible man, but I still think that people need to know where he lies.
Because you see the humanity in him.
Well,
I
his
mean,
grave is actually a popular tourist site now.
Right, it's like Al
one of his-
Capone. It's like the Al Capone.
Yeah, yeah.
of-
Like one of his descendants has recently been fixing it up and like maintaining the grave. And there's a TV series, like a true crime TV series in Australia that just did a whole season on his story.
On
specifically.
Squizzy?
Yeah.
Dope. Yeah,
Welcome to a current affair down under. Today we're going to be talking about a very vicious criminal named Squizzy.
Epilogue. Ida and Lorna both remarried, passing away in 1971 and 1980, respectively.
Oh, they lived good, long lives.
The 6 o'clock law continued into the 1960s. and sly grog shops kept their reputation as a place for criminals.
And then finally, Australia got their shit together,
On
and
February
Parliament voted
1st.
to get rid of the prohibition, and now everything's fine. Australia is a leading first world country. Am I
On
right, Slaton?
February 1st, 1966, people packed every pub in Victoria to celebrate its repeal.
Fuck yeah.
66?
Yeah, dude.
60s was a good era.
Yeah, right,
There
bro.
was some good stuff apparently that happened in the 60s.
And that's the story of Squizzy Taylor.
And that's the story of Squizzy Taylor.
Squizzy Taylor.
Squizzy Taylor.
Squizzy Taylor.
Squizzy Taylor.
Stabbing and stealing, yeah, I'm running around.
And dying when he gets shot. He died in traffic practically.
Not in traffic practically.
If nothing else from this story, I think that we should learn that like we got to fix our transportation problems.
Seriously.
Am I
Oh
right?
my
Am I
gosh.
right?
I mean-
how many squizzies did we lose?
Hey, one squizzy too many, if you ask me, guy.
Today's sources include
The biography, one squizzy too many.
The Guardian, the Sydney Morning Herald, the Herald Sun, Obituaries Australia, Melbourne HistoricalCrimeTours.com, TroubleMag.com, the Australian Dictionary of Biography, newspaper archives from the National Library of Australia, including the Argus, the Calgary Miner, the Northern Times, and of course,
The evil
evil
robots,
robots
at
at Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Feraz Ozel, where can people find you?
Mostly on Instagram or Facebook. Well, Instagram more. I'm not sure how much I like Facebook anymore. But
I
Feraz
never go
Ozel
on
on
there.
Instagram and Twitter.
F-R...
F-E-R-A-Z. F-E-R-A-Z. Last name's Ozel, O-Z-E-L. Feraz Ozel's the handle on all social media. OzelComedy.com is the website. I don't do shit to it, though. Yeah, other than that, I'll be many... When is this coming out?
In a few weeks.
They'll become a
Pretty soon.
yeah.
All right, well...
Yeah, you'll be in Australia.
I'll be in Australia all over the place. So Melbourne, the Comics Lounge from the 25th through the 28th. That's a good one. That's a nice staple in there. And then
We'll get it out just in time for the Australian listeners to be upset about everything that happened on this story, and they
That's
can come
good.
and be angry at your show.
yeah, and then any Arizona people, I'm headlining the Comedy Spot in Scottsdale in May.
Guys, go see Feraz there.
Go see Feraz. You can follow our show on all social medias at CRiiiMEPod, CRiiiMEPOD on Twitter and Instagram. You can support the show a number of different ways. You can tell your friends about it. Hit that share button.
Thank you
Send
so
it to
much.
somebody really cool.
Please do that. It's so
Give
great.
us those 5-star rating reviews on iTunes.
We got another couple of them. We'll read one of those in a minute.
The Sticker of the Month Club is blowing up on,
it's so
on
much
the
fun.
Patreon. It's super fun. We got
Thank
some
you
ridiculous
so
stickers
much to
coming.
our new fucking subscribers.
Yeah, seriously, you guys, your support there is super duper fucking awesome. Of course, come see us at CrimeCon in May 4th
yeah.
through 6th in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, fucking thank you, Katie Marie, for paying so much attention to our episodes, and Mariah Foster. Oh, man. You guys are the best.
You can
Mariah
email the
Foster,
show
she
with-
wrote some nice stuff about us.
Oh, thank you, Mariah
I
Foster.
heard about it. I was like, what a
You can
cool
email
person.
the show with any questions you have, comments, story ideas, dick pics, label those for Shefsky.
Yes, please.
CrimePodcast@gmail.com with 1 I or 3. And stay frosty, my friends. We love each and every one of you personally and emotionally and probably physically at some point.
I'm not making any promises. I'm married.
I mean, we'll hug
so-
people.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
them high fives.
Oh, yeah.
Test their heart rate.
I didn't know that's what you meant.
If they're a guy, test their heart rate. Like I got my finger on the pulse of
Like
America.
you hold their cock and you feel the. Oh no, you put your hand in their ass, right? You put your finger. That'd be so weird if people start demanding that you stick your fingers in their butt at live shows.
That may be a weird thing to do.
I'm gonna make you do it though because you just fucking
fair.
told the
That's
people you
fine.
do it, and I'm gonna
I
say,
get it.
Slaton, I'll stand by next to you. I'll be like, Slaton, you fucking made a
can't
promise. Now you fucking live up to it, and then I'll stick my finger up his butt.
I cannot argue with you.
It's that kind of friendship.
Guys, we'll see you soon.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Bye, robot.
Bye guys, peace. We love you guys.